Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Vanguard Tactics. I'm your host, Stephen Box, and it is my mission to help you become a better 40k player. So we are lockdown live. Oh, day 72, that should say, not day 71. Let's change that. But yeah, day 72. Now, I hope you guys are doing well, and I've just finished up recording a fantastic podcast with Mikey Herbert from Hellstorm Wargaming, so go and check them out, and also John Damaris from 40k Today, and we talk about the table size of this new minimum gate, we'll call it. But anyway, so that's kind of what I've just been up to. Had some really good chats today with the guys at Foreground about the new terrain series, just sort of putting all the finishing touches to getting the pre-orders ready, looking at costing and prices, so I've got all of that stuff. That's good to go now. Anyway, so I'm here to answer your 40k related questions, and you may have noticed something else today. Not only am I wearing a different t-shirt to normal, that is probably what you were thinking, but there's something else. I've got a different hat on. This just came in the post. Check that out. That is quality. So the new Vanguard Tactics trucker caps are in. You know, can be worn front ways or can be worn obviously backwards, you know, whatever you prefer. You mix it up, you know. So if you guys want caps, they will be on the way, coming soon. So I think in the purpose of this, I'm going to wear it forward today, mix it up a bit. Anyway, and I've got, he's probably not watching, but got Joe a hat as well, so me and Joe can be matching, you see. Look at that. Got the official authentic sticker on as well. That's what you need, otherwise it's not a real hat, right? So let me know what you guys think in the chat. There will be also bum bags coming soon, or as you guys call it in America, fanny packs. You know, keeps your dice, all the essentials in there while you're playing the game. Always don't leave home without a bum bag, basically. What I say. All right, so Henrik, how you doing? Jacob, A Tipple, 78, Luke, Ian James, how you doing, mate? Jack, Wayne, Jack, you're on time today, like it. Wayne, Oren, Stephen Carpenter, George, Rickard, Chris Rogers. How to make a viable speedwire? Want to make one for 9th? Well, with the new rules that have just come out from GW, I can't believe it. Big guns never tire for everyone, so no more will vehicles be suffering that -1 to hit with their heavy weapons. It is only going to be infantry that suffer that -1, so this is huge, absolutely huge. And also, you know, if you've watched or listened to the podcast that we recorded, literally, there was a bit of a delay, by the way, between me getting out the video about the 9th edition predictions that was filmed with me, Jack, and Joe. Basically, we had a huge audio issue, and I needed to get the Harlequins podcast out in between, so I had to edit 2 podcasts to get that one out. But literally, we recorded that the day after, and as you can see, our prediction was right. You can shoot into combat like you have a pistol. Obviously, giving them the -1 I think is fantastic as well, so big support of that. So yeah, incredible. And it now means that you can declare, this is really interesting what they mentioned on the stream, because I spoke to Jack, that you can declare like your sponsons can shoot the unit you're in combat with, and then the top gun, for example, could shoot another unit. But if you've used the sponsons first and cleared off the unit you're in combat with, then what you can do is, you know, shoot another unit, right? Which we may see happen in regards to shooting characters. So let's say you've got a knight, for example, next to one tactical marine, then you've got like a character behind. Technically, at the point in which you target, you wouldn't be able to target the character because you've got someone stood in front of you. So now you could say, right, battle cannon at that guy, Avenger cannon now at the character, providing you shoot the battle cannon first. We may see that in the future now because, you know, GW tend to use these same common things. So yeah, I'm sure that will be the case going forward. So yeah, that's my prediction anyway. And bear in mind, guys, I'm not privy to any new rules. I don't get any information from GW or anything like that, or anybody I know. All I'm doing is some educated guesses, you know, and just sharing that with you guys, really. So we've got Chris has said how to make a viable speed war. Well, I think certainly now with vehicles, you know, removing that penalty, I think most of the orc weapons are assault anyway, but we're gonna need to see how vehicles are going to interact with terrain, and then we might be able to make something a bit more viable, because they are on such big bases, and whether move blocking is still a thing, I don't know. We'll all to find out. Lee Churchill said, do you think the new rules will remove the need for heavy screening? It depends really, because obviously the goal is, as a combat player, you're still going to hit the tanks and try and tag them and force them to focus your fire on that unit. So you're telling your opponent, you can shoot this unit but nobody else, and I think that's still good. What have we got here? Matthew Chin, what do you think of the new tank rules? I think they're great. I really do. I really hope they get rid of the fly power as well, because at the moment you can just fall back out of combat with a fly keyword and shoot normally. I don't want that to be the case. I still want them to suffer the same penalties normal tanks do, personally, because I don't see I don't see the difference between, you know, a hover tank and a regular tank. It's still a tank, you know, it still should do the same thing, both, because at the moment it's like you've either got the fly keyword and you do what you want, you don't care, and there's nothing that can really impact you, versus you're a tank and, you know, a unit of grots just tags you up, whatever. So there needs to be, they should be pretty much the same, right? You pretty much pay the same sort of points for, you know, a Lehman Russ or a Fire Prism, but the Fire Prism is just 20 times better just because it's got the fly keyword, and I don't want that disparity to be the case. I still feel like they should just be one of the same, yeah, with a slight variance in terms of their movement. That's the only thing I personally think fly should interact, not whether you can shoot into combat or you can't, or if you fall back you're at a minus or you can't. I don't think that should be the case. JP Wargaming, with the changes to vehicle and non-infantry no longer having movement penalties, moving and shooting, will Redeemers be back for Salamanders and Melter attack bikes? Yeah, you could see some... Thing is, 3 multi-melters just isn't really enough. So I don't know if we're going to see like attack bikes back in full force. We will see land speeders though. Like the Dark Talon now. Wow. The Dark Talon. Let's think about him. Basically, like the Dark Angels, and Jack is coming on tomorrow. So I'm going to leave some of that conversation for Jack. He's looking into it in a lot more detail and wants to share that with you guys tomorrow at 6. So tomorrow will be me and Jack at 6 o'clock, because I'll be from here again, and I'll be back with Joe on Thursday and Friday. John has said hello hello and greetings from Sweden. How you doing, John? Oren, any tips for Deathwatch going up against Space Marines at frontline? At FL friendly local gaming stores, everyone plays them. We finally started back up. Yeah, so I think the Deathwatch are in a nice little position at the moment. You've got some really good sort of units you can put at your disposal. You've got great tactical flexibility, now getting the +2 to charge from the Chaplain, which is absolutely fantastic. If you can beacon and jealous him over, that would be incredible. That would literally be amazing to use on him if you can. I don't have the codex on me to check if Beacon and Jealous would work on a single model, but if it does, great, because now all your Deathwatch veterans can jump down. You can then teleport over the Chaplain, because obviously the Litany has to go off first, and then all of a sudden all your army's getting +2 to charge. So I think that's incredible. I wrote a list, and actually it's on the Academy list library, the Deathwatch, for 2,000 points, which has, I think... well, I can't even remember what it is, but it's a real 50-50 mix of Primaris and regulars, but it's a very good list. I would definitely think about running, personally, and that's over on the Academy. I can't remember the exact constructs of all the different units, but it was a mix of veterans and Primaris, and it was nice. I liked it. Sean has said, thanks for your help over the past few weeks, Stephen. I've settled on an Astra Military army. What do you start with, troops or tanks? Sean, I would definitely get some tank commanders. So I'd certainly pick up 3 Lehman Russes, run them as tank commanders. Don't glue on the gun, because you'll probably magnetize those to have different options. The side sponsons as well. You might heavy flamers could be the one if you're going to force it to get wrapped and you want to use those in combat. So yeah, I would probably, if it was me, I would get 3. I would go 1 with a Punisher and heavy bolters all round. I'd get 1 with a Demolisher cannon and probably heavy bolters all round, and then I'd probably also get the battle cannon, probably heavy bolters all round as well. And I'd probably take the relic hammer of Sunderance on the battle cannon and the other two, and I'd run the whole thing as Talon, especially if terrain rules go up. Then it means you're going to be able to really pivot and move these vehicles really well, get your firing lanes, you know, hide, shoot again. And in that matchup, it's incredible. So, yeah. Atypical 78 do you think it should have been all weapons though, or just single weapons, Wait, time will tell. Time will tell. I'm sure it's been play tested thoroughly. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Although the repulsor shooting in combat is going to be ridiculous. Yeah. Brian said, looks good, working on some Hector Rex conversion ideas. Nice, love it. Nice. Vincey, also, me and Brian in about an hour, 45 minutes, are recording the Engine War podcast, all about AdMech. So if you've got any questions for Brian or in regards to AdMech whatsoever, pop it in the comments below. Brian, we need to think about what's just been released now and how it impacts Engine War. That's one thing we need to have a little think about between this show and obviously recording ours, because AdMech now are going to get ridiculous. Yeah. John said, I'm thinking of starting a Space Marine army as my second army. Is Iron Hands the way to go, or would you recommend something else? I mean, Iron Hand was the way to go, but personally, I feel like Ultramarines are the one for me. Yeah, I really like the way Ultramarines play. I love their I love the Roman sort of, yeah, theme with it all. I think that's great. And their rulebook is incredible. Like, it really is. Some of their stratagems and warlord traits are just unbelievable. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Ultramarines. I know they're sometimes like seen as like vanilla because they're like the poster boys, but they're insane. Honestly, I think Ultras are going to do very, very well in the new edition of 9th edition. So I'm currently working on my 9th edition list for Ultras at the moment. I'm really happy with how it plays. I played a couple of test games. Well, I've played 3 test games with them now using modified pre-9th rules, and they're doing all right. They're doing very, very good. So I managed to beat Ben Jones with his Paladins. Bear in mind it was Jonesy's first time running the Grey Knights, and it was a very close game, but it just shows that it can go up against a top tier list and against a top tier player. And then also played against Joe yesterday with his Chaos Knights, and we had 2 games. First game I won, second game we re-racked and we ran it as more as a coaching game, me coaching Joe of how I would run those Knights to really make me, force me into really difficult decisions, and it was very, very close. And I think it probably would have gone to we weren't really pointing out, scoring it exactly, we're just kind of trying to get a feel for damage output, what can be done, what can't, and all that stuff. Anyway, Gregwin 47, I'm looking at moving to Vanguard detachments for my Blood Angels. Any recommendations of what to replace the scouts with? Already have 25 Vanguard, 15 Death Company intact, 10 Vanguard vets. Yeah, it's a tricky one really, because there might be roles for scouts that we still need, so don't get rid of them just yet. That's all I'm going to say. Don't get rid of them just yet. Just wait for 9th to drop, but have a couple of other units in your pocket that you might think do well, like Invictus Warsuits might do well, but that only really helps you turn 1, which you're good at anyway. So as in going first, Invictus Warsuits are great. If you're not, they're not so great, but Death Company are good. So you're only really you're going to end up with either a real feel-bad situation where you go first, you just win, or you don't, you just lose. So you don't really want that situation to occur. So maybe more, I was actually looking at putting in, you might laugh, but it's in my Blood Angel list instead, 10 Thunderhammer Terminators. Just laying it out there right now. Blood Angels, I'd make it work. Yeah. So I'd drop all the scouts for Incursors, because I really like them. Sean said, do you know if the Executioner is in all Lehman Russ kits? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sorry, mate. I can't remember the last time I got it. Vincey said, I'm looking at Night Lord's Thousand Suns list is giving me a headache. Vinci, I'd just wait. First of all, you've got War the Spider coming up. That may tweak or change your ideas slightly. And also, before you really commit to a new army or which way to go, definitely wait for 9th. I'm also releasing a video probably over the next few days. We've got 3 videos coming up in preparation for 9th edition. Okay, now these are how mentally, like what I'm thinking about in order to prepare for the 9th edition changes. Okay, and if you watch it, embrace it, it will help you transition through the change. Okay, and it will help you make better decisions and invest in the right units choices when those times come, and get you to reevaluate a lot of different things as well. So what works now might not work in, you know, however long it takes for 9th edition to come out, and vice versa. There might be some units now that aren't particularly playable in a competitive format which become unreal in a few weeks' time. So that needs to be addressed. And so the videos I'm going to be making going forward are going to be unanimous, just like the Academy content I'm working on at the moment. Regardless of the edition, it doesn't matter. I'm producing content that is going to last the ages, because it's more about mindset. It's more about like play styles. It's more about kind of ways to play the game specifically, rather than the minutiae of this rule or that interaction or this. It's not about that, okay? So, all to come very, very soon with our new lovely camera we've got. Yeah, so I can wear the new hat and the new camera. It's going to be great. Lee said, what will the changes on the table size mean the resurgence of close combat armies? Will this make first turn become, or first turn change? I don't know what they're going to do about the turn 1 situation. Seas might come back in the competitive format. Currently it's out of the ITC. Might come back in. Obviously, if you go second, you can roll 2 dice and pick the one you want for deployment. Deployment maps might change if they're going to go to fixed deployment maps. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to be a turn 1 game. Maybe it could be a turn 2 game. Who knows? 10 Thunder Hammers is a bold choice. Well, it's a bold move, Cotton, but sometimes they pay off, you know. And I am one for bold moves, you know. You don't see me often playing the meta lists, you know. I don't find that very enjoyable. Even my Iron Hands one was really weird. It was kind of real based on infantry rather than executioners at the time, around a Deradeo. That wasn't really my style. I went for stuff like eliminators and suppressors and land speeders. That was kind of what I went for. I didn't run the 6-plane list. I only had 2 planes in my list, so I didn't even have Feros in my list. It was kind of a mix, and because I really liked the movement elements of it. I think I had a banner in there, a chapter banner, so it was very different. So and even that was a bit boring, so I moved away from it personally. Anyway, apparently there's 2 different Rust kits. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate that. I think the Executioner variant is in the Lehman Rust kit. Nice. I think there's only 1 Baneblade kit now. I think they consolidate it all into 1 kit. Should I get 6 aggressors for Black Templars? Aggressors are going to be good, so yeah. I think whatever you put aggressors in, they're going to be good. Yeah, I really like aggressors at the moment. One of my favourite units in the game, and they're very good on the new board. And insane is Ultramarines. Sean Casey, Exterminator Plasma is in Dolomite kit along with the Punisher. Jacob, I don't think, aside from the 4. Sean Casey said, oh, you guys are chatting about Guard. Ian James has said, I'm toying with Tartarus Terminators, all chain fists. Could be good. Chain fists are nice because I think they're flat damage 3 or 2. 2 or 3, but anytime you can get flat damage is always a win, so yeah. Rashai B, sorry if I've mispronounced your name. I'm sticking with Ultras for 9th. I choose them as they're basically always, yeah, nice. Yeah, they are. I love the Ultras, I really do. Calgar, he's the man, yeah. Highland Phoenix, thinking about spending some of the points I would have spent on troops to run max size units of bikes plus attack bike with chainsaws for Blood Angels in 9th, but I'll wait for changes, yeah. And we might get those new Primaris bikes, could be real good, or maybe even those intercessors with chainswords now, if they can get jump packs going forward, yes. Yes! Give me that for Blood Angels, yeah. Right, okay, cool. Best type of paint to get for making eyes and buttons glow. So Drew, I've always used a little bit of gold. right? And then a bit of contrast paint over it, nice and thin. And basically the contrast works like a glaze over the eye, and it's quite nice because if you mess it up slightly, it doesn't matter too much. So I use that. It's really quick and simple, yeah. And it kind of looks like a lens then, you know, because it is metallic, yeah. Lucas said, evening Stephen, have you preemptively reduced your new Quins list size to offset the new points rises? If so, how much have you set aside in preparation? So basically I'm running 1800 point lists at the moment. That's what I'm playtesting with. So I've had to tweak a few things in my Harlequin list, but not that much. I don't think Harlequins are going to go up that much in points because at the moment I would say they're actually overcosted. For a lot of their things, like their weapons are just too expensive for what they do, so comparatively. So I don't think they're going to go up that much. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave that there, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6. I'll be joined with Jack, and yeah, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.